let's do it. Off to the gym, 6 a.m. We're training legs today. It's going to be good. So yesterday I was worried about, well, not worried about, but I was talking about kind of time management and how to best divide up my day. And I was thinking about putting blocks in my calendar for all the different things I had to do. Then while I was heading into the city, I started listening to a podcast by the one and only Alex Hormozi, and it just so happens he had a pretty recent episode on this very subject of managing your time. And he had this concept about you're either a maker or a manager. And the gist of it is like as a business owner or an entrepreneur, particularly if you're just by yourself, you have to wear all the hats. And he was saying that certain tasks that you do, like if you're a software developer or a copywriter or you're making video or any kind of those creative things, that's when you have your maker hat on. And then when you're doing the day-to-day, when you're like replying to customer support or you're have to follow up on some leads or do some accounting or like any of that kind of thing, that's when you have your manager hat on. And he was saying, like, and I completely agree with this, because he's saying as a maker, when you have your maker hat on, you can't have any distractions, because as you'll know if you are a maker, it takes a bit of time to get in the groove, into the flow state of software development, for example. And if you get in there, you're operating like at perfect efficiency, like you're in the zone, everything else is out of your mind, you're just deep into a problem, you've got this information rattling around in your head that takes like all at the one time. You need to be balancing this different info in your head to solve this complex problem. And then what happens if like a meeting pops up in your calendar or you have to go and respond to a Slack message or respond to whatever, that breaks you out of that flow state, and then you go and deal with this thing. Even if it's only like quickly responding to a Slack message, suddenly you've lost all that info that was in your head. You have to kind of try and get back into the zone, and it just doesn't work. It takes ages, it ruins it. And so he's saying, as a maker, you basically need your calendar to be completely free for that period of time. No interruptions. Not working on anything else, not chopping and changing between different activities. But then the funny thing is, as a manager, it's almost the opposite. So because a meeting is so disruptive, and they're usually a short-term thing, like a meeting's usually like 15 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, and then it's done. As a manager, you more want your calendar to be completely opposite. It's like, if I'm going to get interrupted doing all these kind of things, just stack the calendar so it can be like bam, 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 get all the things done. And so he was saying, well, how do you balance if you're like a solopreneur, as they call them? You have to do the things, you have to have the manager hat on to do customer support and managing new customers coming on who have questions and following up on leads and all that kind of thing. You have to do that, and it might not be super high leverage, but the business won't function without you operating the business. But then the business won't grow if you're not working on the kind of deep work or the deep strategic work or the making the product itself, or making videos for marketing and that kind of thing. So he was saying his strategy is that he has like a 6-hour block where he has his maker hat on, and in that time nothing is allowed to interrupt him. He doesn't book meetings during that time. He doesn't work on anything else during that time other than the thing he set out to do during the maker time. And then when it's manager time, it's like awesome. Like, stack the calendar full of stuff, get it all done, smash out these tasks. And that just makes a lot of sense to me. So from now, I'm going to test it out today. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a maker block this morning. A manager block this morning, where I just deal with customer support queries and get that all sorted. Just trying to find a park. Park way up here today. So I'm going to spend the morning getting all the tasks done, customer support, sending emails, all that kind of stuff. And then once lunchtime happens, then I'm going to put my maker hat on. That's when I'm going to be either coding or producing a video with no interruptions. I'm going to mute everything and just get it done. So on that note, I'm going to the gym. See you in a minute. All right. 5 degrees outside, so it's pretty cold. But it was a good gym session nonetheless. So we're heading home. And so what I was saying is that I'm going to block off the morning, put my manager hat on. I've got some meetings. I've got some support to deal with. I've got some marketing emails or sales emails to send, and couple of leads to follow up on. So I'm going to get all that done this morning, just back to back to back. And then, what is this, traffic? And then I'll put my maker hat on in the afternoon. And there's a couple of, what are these trucks doing? I'm going up the inside. There we go. If I hear back from a particular B2B partner, there will be some API integrations to build. Otherwise, I'm going to be buying a big ass whiteboard from Officeworks today. And then I've got a bunch of videos around investment performance tracking and tax reporting that I want to record. So we've never really put out content like this. But what I want to demonstrate to not only my existing customers but new customers is how you can calculate capital gains tax by yourself, because it's quite complicated, and then how Navexa makes it super easy. So it'll be a bit of education plus marketing content in there at the same time, because it's if you just bought some shares and you held them and then you sold them, like, calculating capital gains pretty easy. But it's when there's more complex scenarios, like you've bought multiple parcels of shares in that company over time and then you're partially selling some of them. It's like, how do you calculate the capital gain? Do you use the first lot of shares you bought, the second, the third, the fourth? So there's all these different CGT strategies that I'm going to explain. And the purpose behind doing this kind of content is, I think, not only is it good education, it'll help people with the simple cases, it'll help them know how to do it so they could do it in a spreadsheet. So it's kind of giving away value for free. But it will also demonstrate and show people that I know what I'm talking about, because if you want to use software that's going to calculate something as important as taxes, I think it's important to know that the people who made it know what the hell they're on about. So I'll be able to demonstrate on the whiteboard exactly how you do it. So in turn, people can learn how to do it and learn that I know how to do it. And one thing I find that's always missing from online articles, and this is in like a lot of situations, like you want to know how to do something, particularly in investing, I find, like you want to know how to calculate performance, and all the examples are always really basic, like, oh, you bought shares in ABC and now the price is $2 and it's gone up 50%. And you're like, that's great, I already knew how to do that. But what about when I bought some shares for $5, some for $3, some for $2, some for $10, then I sold half of them? Like, what's my performance now? And there's never any examples that go into the complex cases. So I'm going to make some videos. I'll cover off all the basics, but I really want to make some videos that I get into some real complex ones, so that I know when I was learning how to calculate performance, it took me months of reading different websites that I could find online, and then trying stuff myself through trial and error. And I'm not like a mathematician. I wish I was, because I really enjoy math. But I was more just brute forcing equations. So rather than like understanding that, oh, the reason we put this number here is because of this, my approach was more just, what if we put this number here? And then ran the algorithm and was like, no, that's not right. So I kind of reverse engineered from what I knew the answer should be on how to calculate it. And then the funny thing is, once I figured out the algorithms that I was writing, I could look at them and go, oh, that makes so much sense why it would be like that. Of course you'd weight that number with this because this is that thing. And so I actually, while my approach wasn't efficient in how I learned it, once I knew it, not only did I reverse calculate various algorithms, but then I could reverse learn. Is that a thing? I could then learn how it got there by seeing it going from the answer backwards. So now I feel confident I could write up on a whiteboard exactly how our particular performance algorithm works, along with all the tax stuff, and along with all sorts of investing concepts. I think it's important not only just to write about it and to speak about it, but I think with the whiteboard, drawing it and demonstrating it, that hits like a different part of the brain center that some people will understand more from a drawing. So, buying a big ass whiteboard. It's going to go in my office, which is going to be cool because I'm going to be able to use it for all sorts of planning things, prioritization of things that I'm working on. Yes, I can record it in the computer, but you can put it in the Notes app, and then you minimize the Notes app to do some work, and then you just you don't see it, and then you can easily get sidetracked. So if I have it on my office, written there on big letters, that means every time I get up from my desk or go to the kitchen or go to the toilet or whatever it is, I'll see that whiteboard and go, oh, that's right, those are the tasks, and I'll be able to physically cross them off. And there's something nice about being able to do that. So, pulling up at home, big day ahead, lots of stuff on. First day of trying my new time management, or the new time management technique. So I'll let you know how it goes. So as always, work on high leverage activities. Don't muck around with just busy work that isn't going to do big things. And on that note, get after it.